A lot of shots, averaging more than 36 shots per game. And what a season Cam Talbot is having. The 36-year-old certainly has turned back the clock. First in the league in goals against average, second in save percentage, tied for second in wins. Not bad for a guy who's on his 6th team in the last 7 years.
Yeah, it's been an amazing turnaround. And I guess when you have a good team in front of you, it maybe makes your job just a little easier, but he's still got to make saves, Brendan, so he's doing that.
Islanders have points in 10 of their last 11. Kings have won 3 straight and 8 of 9. And they come into this game with an 11-game road winning streak to start the season, the longest road winning streak to start a season in NHL history. One more win, and they'll have a share of the longest road winning streak at any point in any NHL season at 12.
It's been remarkable for the Kings.
Clutterbuck's shot swallowed up there by Cam Talbot, who gets the whistle.
It just shows you what balance they have. It doesn't matter who goes out against whom. The Kings were able to play anybody. As Lane Lambert, I'm sure, we talked about the Kings last year and some of the things they like to do and do very, very well. So I'm sure they had a little meeting this morning or yesterday and talked about the strategy.
Islanders get the face-off in the offensive end. Engvall, Palmieri, and Nelson out with Robert Bortuzzo and Sam Bolduc. Bortuzzo with his first shift as a New York Islander. Palmieri had Talbot leaning, couldn't wrap it around though. Tried to play it to the line and stolen away by Trevor Moore. Moore, Fiala, and Danault up over the line, and Bortuzzo throws a big body check on his first shift.
Yeah, welcome to the New York Islanders, and the fans are going to love him as he is a very physical player.
Play down low. Fiala tried to drag it from the goal line out in front. It's knocked aside. Palmieri will go the safe route, elevate it through the neutral zone. Engvall can skate, but Gavrikov was close enough to get the whistle for the icing.
Well, it's a good start when you get the fans to cheer for you early on. And look at the gap control right away, goes across and hammers him and finishes him off. Moore said, hello, where did you come from? And
if you don't recognize Robert Bortuzzo, it's because, yeah, he got the razor out as a member of the New York Islanders. Said he got texts from both Nick Leddy and Thomas Greiss that said, make sure you bring the razor. And then Johnny Boychuk dropped off a can of shaving cream for him this morning.
Might need some shears too, guys. I was just have the puck. Find a way to get it back. Casey Zizekas was very strong, as was Hudson Fasching. And look, this is simple hockey. You give it to them and try to get to it first. And if you don't, dig, claw, find a way. And there's never a bad shot on net especially against a guy like Cam Talbot who's going. And you can take some opportunities into your favor as well. You see Cal Clutterbuck get an opportunity there. That one just missed, but that's shorthanded. But for this team, you're going to need every single line going. But it helps when the guys that you expect to do it every single night are setting the tone.
You mentioned the power play and the penalties that we saw there in the first period. Against a team like LA, if you get the man advantage, you have to want to try to convert on something there because they're not an easy team to score against, not an easy team to beat. What did you think was missing in the Islanders' power play? The entries were very poor, and that's something you need. If you want to get an opportunity against a good hockey team that doesn't get many, well, take advantage of your power plays. And look, you took a penalty on the one power play, so there goes that. But these are the entries. This is what I'm talking about, the plays at the offensive blue line. You got more people, so what's your plan to get the puck back? You saw the guys try to carry it in, try to dump it in. Well, that's all good and fair as long as you've got speed and everyone knows what's going on. And Matt Barzal, we've seen him navigate so well into the zone, but this is a group of LA Kings that checks extremely well. And I think for the Islanders, that's 0 for 2 so far. Really strong penalty killing on their end, but if you get these opportunities, we talked about the metrics, the fact that Kings don't give up much. The power play's going right now, so try to find that, and that could be your way into the game. What did you think so far of Bortuzzo? I like him. Look, I'm not going to be surprised at all about what I see from him. He was extremely physical, and you saw him chasing hits a little bit, and I think for him, he's just trying to acquaint himself well with his teammates, show that he's going to block shots and hit, and know that they can expect that from him. But I think that was good. Probably a lot of emotions. He's been in St. Louis for a decade now, so it must be a lot of butterflies for him tonight. Yeah, we've seen the scouting report on what he can do on the ice, but from what I'm hearing intel-wise from St. Louis, a big guy in the room there, Thomas, he is someone that they definitely will miss.
Barzal got popped by England, challenged by Horvat. Mayfield says no. I will step in and dance with Andreas Engvall, or in England, I should say. Horvat was willing and ready. Mayfield getting a couple of rights in there on England.
Well, we haven't seen Scott fighting in quite a while. it's good to see for Scott to get involved in it.
And great on Scotty for stepping in. You don't want Horvat fighting, and Scotty recognized that. Excellent job, and England's a tough character.
Yeah, Scotty's done very, very well. They both threw some punches. And that'll get Scott Mayfield going. Well, as you mentioned, Thomas, good for him to step up. And Barzal was actually coming out of his own end with his head down, and it wasn't really a cheap shot hit. But Matt, just watch this. Matt's got his head down.
Watch Horvat right here, too. Let's go. I love that from Scott Mayfield. Just love it.
Yeah, and I get the fighting part, but I didn't like the fight because that was a clean hit. He didn't run it, and Barzal had his head down, and he wasn't expecting it. And Horvat, as you said, was going at it, but Mayfield stepped in with England. But
nothing wrong with that hit at all. I agree with you, Butch. Well timed, and that's twice. You pointed out the Gavrikov hit right before that on Brock Nelson.
Los Angeles penalty to number 5 has 5 minutes for fighting. New York penalty number 24 has 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct and 5 minutes for fighting.
And that's the right call.
It's interesting.
Why the two? Like instinct?
So yeah, a lot of times the referees will hand out the unsportsmanlike conduct because they're on the fence about an instigator. But in this instance, I mean, you've never seen two players square up. I mean, he had dropped the gloves willing to fight Horvat before Mayfield even got involved. So it's hard to give the instigator, I think. I'm not quite sure why they're calling it.
Yeah, I like the call because the Islanders, whether it was Mayfield or Horvat, they were going to challenge England. And I mean, look, he's not even moving. He just hits him with his left shoulder. So Horvat's there. Okay, England says, and then Mayfield jumps right in. So I don't mind the call, honestly, Brendan, because England on a very clean hit was going to be forced to fight. And I don't like that part of the game. I don't think it's necessary. It was a good, clean check. It wasn't even that hard.
It's our Built Ford Tough Play of the Game, though. It's presented by your local Ford stores. So by the New York Islanders, and the goal would come off the board. This coach's challenge brought to you by Honda.
Didn't look a long time, so that usually doesn't bode well for the Islanders.
Here's the call.
After video review, there is no goaltender interference on the play. It's a good goal.
Why are the fans cheering, Brendan?
Apparently, a couple of Kings fans have made the trip. It is a back-to-back tomorrow. They play the Rangers at the Garden tomorrow, so a few Kings fans in attendance. But it is they didn't announce it, but it'll be a delay of game penalty against the Islanders as well. And the Kings are headed on the power play. Goal from Gavrikov, his third of the season, playing his 300th game in the National Hockey League. So Cizikas and Clutterbuck with Bortuzzo and Romanov. Penalty killing in for the Islanders is Kempe. Poke check by Romanov. It stays in the zone, though, and it's Byfield. Kempe to Downey. And Downey taking his time before sending it across for Kopitar. Kevin Fiala. Downey. Guarded by Clutterbuck. Fiala touched with Kopitar. Now they get it across. Kempe tapped in front, and a great stretching save from Sorokin on Byfield.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I mean, that looked like a tap-in goal. Well set up play.
Yeah, as that thing gets going from seam to seam, Butch, we've talked about it before. One seam, okay, you can give it up. You can't give up that second one.
So it works to your advantage. Heads up.
Byfield ahead. He had Kempe breaking, and a nice disruption by Noah Dobson.
Islanders haven't had a lot going on in this second period, as I said. You know, the PK spent too much time and takes away some of your rhythm.
Kopitar along the boards, just more than 5 minutes remaining here in the period. Casey Cizikas is being looked over by the Islanders medical staff and Jody Green on the bench as he went off smarting just a few seconds ago as that one passed across the crease.
They play a very simple game.
Here's Engvall trying to split the D, got in and one-handed it on net. And Cam Talbot was there to stop it. Good effort, though, from Engvall. Didn't look like there was anything there, and two guys back, and he was able to knife through him.
He's got such good speed, huh? I mean, you don't realize how fast he's going.
Arthur Kaliev's on the move the other way now. Kaliev leaves it for Jordan Spence. Spence looking back door, and it was Bortuzzo down on the ice to break it up. Kaliev slips through. High slot Spence. Shot blocked by Bortuzzo. The shot comes from Kaliev, not enough on it. It's handled by Sorokin, but a couple of big-time shot blocks from Robert Bortuzzo.
Yeah, tough period for the Islanders. The Kings have used the momentum of the power play to really take a play away from the Islanders. They just haven't been able.
.com down goes. Oh, after the whistle, Doughty threw a hit on Clutterbuck as Trevor Lewis was still collecting himself in the Islanders end. He's shaken up.
You know, it was just far enough away from the boards, and I think that's what hurt Trevor Lewis more than anything. It looks like hopefully he'll be all right. After the play, I don't know if we got to look at it. Drew Doughty really stepped up on Cal right after the play. Cal wasn't expecting it at all.
I think he's getting a penalty for it.
Yeah, he is. There's no question. That was with the proverbial late hit. I mean, he was looking to get even. There's no doubt about that. Clutter had hit Lewis. Doughty's going to hit
Los Angeles penalty number 8. 2 minutes for roughing.
There's no call on the initial hit. There was a call on the retaliation. That's just an unfortunate landing for Trevor Lewis.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, he hardly hits him. It's just being strong on his skates. The whistle, and the whistle blows. Look at this, and then he's just not even looking, and he's looking away. And Doughty says, "Well, this is a chance for me to hit him." That you can get hurt with that because you're relaxed, Brendan.
It was well after the whistle.
Yeah.
What a great opportunity.
Down.
Nothing intentional from Anders there. Gavrikov stepped up on Brock Nelson in the second period there. And sort of the same thing. Anders Lee was getting his head up and two collided. And I think Gavrikov maybe tried to get out of the way in the last minute, immediately grabbed his lower body.
This LA Kings team has been relatively healthy this season. One of the reasons why they've been able to get off to a good start, of course, that is with an asterisk. They lost Victor Arvidsson before the season began. He hasn't played a game yet.
Oh.
But this is Gavrikov really favoring that left leg as he heads towards the Kings bench.
Yeah, he's moving gingerly, Brendan, but good chance he might still come back, and Gavrikov gets up. Let's just see what happens there. The left knee collides with the right knee of Gavrikov, and that's the problem. And sometimes you get, like you can see, it's awkward. Gavrikov goes down. They'll take a look at him, and as I said, on many occasions, a lot of these things hurt just for a minute, but they're going to take him in the dressing room and take a closer look, which is the wise thing. And take a closer look, which is the wise thing to do. Doughty wants a penalty, but it was really just a collision.
And Anders Lee, serving as the captain, comes over to talk to the referees as well. So some heated words were exchanged just prior to what we just showed you between Lee and Doughty. But there is no penalty on the play, and it is Gavrikov to the Kings dressing room.
Doughty plays a little chippy at times too. I mean, he doesn't have a halo over that helmet of his. I can tell you that much. So for him to, it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black, really.
It's hard to tell with those shiny helmets.
Yeah.
The 3D ad on it.
A little confidence, who you play with, Brendan, and the coach's trust, right? The confidence to play you. That can change your season around.
Here is Barzal. Grabbing that puck, hanging on to it, drops it off. Riley shot, save, rebound, score! Anders Lee, it's a one-goal game.
There's the break the Islanders needed. Starts with the Barzal effort, just a couple of quick steps, able to get inside the blue line, and then creates time and space. A nice little back pass over to Horvat, and then Anders Lee stops in front. There's Fiala, a little turnover right in that area. Look at Barzal with the quickness, and then time and space. Little back pass to Horvat, and then out in front. Beautiful play right there by Anders Lee, who stops. Well, that was Mike Riley that jumped up on the play.
Similar to his goal the other night, Butch. Not really much of a windup at all. He knows he wants to get it off right away. Educated shot on the fore pad, and the captain's there in the door.
Anders Lee has 2 goals in the third period, and the Islanders have come back to even the score.
And it's all about the face-off win again for the Islanders. Are back in position. The fans are really into it, so got to push hard now. Don't let the Kings get going in any way, shape, or form. They come back with the Zizekas line. Lane Lambert has done that.
Kempe on a break, and Sorokin comes up with an enormous save.
Unacceptable, Brendan. You can't allow that. You got to pay attention. Where is everybody? Islanders change defense right away. You just got to be aware of what's going on in behind you. And Riley gets caught watching the play, and Sorokin comes up with a huge save. You just got to know where your men are, and especially a guy like Kempe who's been so hot. So Sorokin bails out his defenseman.
Riley came over and tapped the pads to Sorokin. Here in the third of a 2-2 tie. Kempe lost the puck to Dobson, and Noah Dobson backhands it across for Clutterbuck. And this one thrown through center. Islanders are trying to win a hockey game, no doubt, but they've come from behind. They've got it even with 2 minutes to play. Here's Palmieri with Pajot off the post. Palmieri glove side on Talbot, still alive out in front, and Byfield went to clear it, denied. Palmieri fired wide. Pajot racing to the puck, can't keep the zone.
Good try by Palmieri, but Pajot was a right-hander, so that was going to be a tough pass.
Islanders again hounding the puck, the best jump they've had all night. Dobson shot, rebound, saved by Talbot. Palmieri had it dropped to him on the doorstep. Engvall to Dobson. Dobson another shot, knocked down, cleared away. It'll be icing as the Islanders with their best sequence of the night coming as the game getting late.
And listen to these fans. I mean, they're loving it. Their team is, as you mentioned, Brendan, has come alive with a couple of terrific opportunities, and the Kings are lucky to dodge a bullet. They could easily be down a goal, but it starts with a good forecheck, turnover, and there's Palmieri. And Gavrikov takes away the pass, so no choice. He's got to go for it. Hits the post. And then another shot by Dobson, and there's Palmieri again. A couple of opportunities. The Kings escape.
A couple of tired Kings out there as well, and Roy and Kopitar. Bortuzzo helped keep the play in the offensive zone with just over a minute remaining here in the third period. Down behind the net, Roy around, he overshot Anderson. Lee has it trapped there. Fiala pulled it out off the glove of Bortuzzo and out of the zone. Fiala, nowhere to go with it. Banked it ahead for more. 45 seconds to go in regulation time. Bolduc, near side, Bortuzzo. Moore took it away. Bolduc defending the front of the net. Got it back to the corner. Fiala around Lee, and Moore lock up Bortuzzo. Wanted Horvat. It got deflected across for Clutterbuck. He'll get it deep with less than half a minute remaining. Moved on for Anderson. Anderson flubbed the clear, followed up by Deneau. 20 seconds left. Cizikas on for Pajot. He'll chip it in. 15 seconds to go. Doughty pressured by Cizikas with 10. He stole the puck away. Cizikas, Romanov, his shot blocked. Laferriere got it out with 5. Dobson keeps it away from Laferriere, and the Islanders come back from down 2-0 in the third. Both goals from Anders Lee, and they have forced the Kings into overtime.
And a very appreciative bunch of people here at the UBS. They're all on their feet. They're all clapping, and this Islander team didn't give up, came back in the third period, as you mentioned, Brendan. A much better period, their best period of the game, and at the end of the day, the Kings are lucky to get out of this 2-2.
Coming up, Islanders Overtime, brought to you by Verizon. Holiday every day on the network America relies on. Islanders trailing 2-0 at the start of the third period, and then it was Anders Lee going to work. Bang off the rebound, and it's 2-1. That was at 8:42, and then a face-off win. A shot from Mayfield, and bang off the rebound again. Anders Lee gets them both, gets the Islanders even, and forces this game into overtime. As we take a look at the overtime records, brought to you by Verizon. Holiday every day on the network America relies on. Islanders' 10th overtime game of the season already, and what is their 26th game of the year.
Notice the Kings' shootout record, 0-2, which surprises me a little bit.
Kempe's shot deflected by Dobson, chipped on by Holmstrom. Pajot, a chance to win it! Scores! No history tonight on Long Island. J.G. Pajot completes the comeback.
Unbelievable, Brendan. Hottest team in hockey right now. The LA Kings, they get up a 2-0 after 2 periods. And they let it slip away as the Islanders find a way to get a couple of goals from the captain, and then Pajot on a bounce pass. I believe that was Holmstrom that threw it off the boards. And Pajot coming down the right side goes 5-hole as he takes it to his back end and goes 5-hole. And there's a happy guy, but there's a happy team. They haven't had many breaks along the way. Everybody's kind of dumped on them for letting things slide away. Well, the best teams in hockey sometimes let it slide away too, Brendan. And so Pajot, JG, everybody's thrilled to death. They hadn't done much tonight, honestly. And they come through in the clutch at a very, very big time. This should be a win that could really lift the Islanders up to a whole different level. They've been looking for something to kind of cling to. This might be just the win.
The Islanders were trailing 2-0 with 12.5 minutes to go in regulation time. They win it 3-2 on the second of the year from JG Pajot.
Nothing I can add to that, Brendan. Just a really good effort. Pajot full speed and just goes 5-hole with it. Hung on to it. Talbot Guest came out hard. Watch him come out hard, and they're just not able to cover up the 5-hole. You got to drop that stick down. I'm guessing that's what he tried to do. And everybody on the Islander bench pretty happy.
13 seconds is all it took in overtime. The earliest regular season overtime goal the Islanders have scored since Pat LaFontaine scored 10 seconds in. You have to go back to November of 1988 to find a faster overtime goal during the regular season for the New York Islanders. Stars of the game are brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Kevin Fiala is booed as the third star, here at UBS Arena.
For the game-winning goal in overtime, number 44, Jean-Gabriel Pajot.
That's a big goal for the New York Islanders from JG Pajot. Secures the 12th win of the season for the New York Islanders.
And tonight's first star from your New York Islanders with 2 goals on the night, number 27, Anders Lee.
Good choice. Could go either way, but I like the choice. I mean, Anders, that's what you want. You want leadership. You want it not only in the dressing room, but you want to have your captain find a way to score those big goals. And typical Islanders goals from Anders Lee.
What a win for the New York Islanders. Here on MSGSN, our live coverage begins at 6:30 with Islanders game night. Puck drop will be at 7, a half hour earlier than a typical home game for the Islanders. Monday night, MSGSN, or stream it for free on MSG Plus with an eligible TV subscription. Coming up next on MSGSN, it's the Mercedes-Benz Islanders postgame show with Shannon Hogan and Thomas Hickey. For Butch Goring, I'm Brendan Burke. Thank you so much for watching. Islanders complete the comeback in overtime, beat the Kings 3-2.
It didn't look that way in the second period, and this is an Islanders team that time and time again shows you when they're playing at their best, when they make good plays, when they're smart with the puck, and if they come up, close in the third period, they're going to do what they can to make it an interesting game. They did just that here tonight, not only picking up the 2 points, but doing it in dramatic fashion, putting on a show for their fans. Some fans left early tonight. I think this is a lesson.
We should know better by now, right?
You don't want to leave early.
Never.
You want to stick around, especially for a Saturday night of hockey here at UBS Arena. Let's take you through how this game unraveled. Coming from the first, in the first period, it was the LA Kings in the second period getting on the board first. Adrian Kempe, his 9th goal of the season.
Yeah, and some nice work here by the Kings. You see how far this pass goes through bodies, and Adrian Kempe wastes no time with it on his stick. And what a finish. You got to tip your hat sometimes to a good power play. And as Ilya slides over, there's just a little bit of space for this puck to go. It finds the spot, and the Kings at that point look to be in control. They don't give up any leads, and a 1-goal lead in the second is often enough for them.
The second period was definitely the height of the game for the LA Kings, and Gavrikov is able to make this a 2-0 game.
Well, what a pivotal moment it was, because not only the goal by Gavrikov here, you see Robert Bortuzzo go down and try to block this. I don't think that Ilya could really pick it up, but not only that, you challenge, you lose the challenge, and now you're in the penalty box, and a chance for the Kings to ice the game. You need a good penalty kill, and that's what the Islanders did to respond to that.
All right, let's dive into the third period. Here's where things really start to heat up. The captain, Anders Lee, determined to make this happen, and he's able to do it. Bo Horvat helping, but Matt Barzal and Mike Riley getting assists.
Yeah, that's what you love to see from your captain. You know he's going to be in front of the net. You mentioned the Bo Horvat stick that Matt Barzal quick on it. And once again, Mike Riley, watch the windup, just a little one. And that allows Anders Lee to be first to the net, first to the puck when it pops out. And you can feel it, Shannon. The building exploded right there. People have been waiting for that moment.
They were waiting for the moment, and they were on the edge of their seat cheering for this moment here as the Islanders tie it up.
So difficult to find offense against this Kings team. You're better off starting to their end. A great win by Bo Horvat and Anders Lee. At that point, Shannon, it's one-on-one. Beat your man to the net, outwill him, outstrength him, and be the first to capitalize. And all of a sudden, overtime rolls around, and it didn't take long. Right off the bat, Adrian Kempe, a heads-up play here by Simon Holmstrom to chip it out, and you just had the sense JG had been a little quiet. Butch had alluded to it. He lives for big moments. I've never seen him quite that animated after a goal, and pure elation from this entire group. But a nice stick by Noah Dobson. I'm sure he's going to end up getting an assist on that. But watch him open up the goaltender, 5-hole, and it's all over. What a moment for this group.
It was absolutely electric in the building, and I have to say, I love just watching the pure emotion from the players. You can see it. It's tangible out there. I was in the hallway, Thomas, and as the coaching staff and the rest of the training staff is coming off, they were just as jacked up, and rightfully so, because this was a huge task tonight to take on the LA Kings. One of the teams you say is one of the best in the NHL right now, and a measuring stick for the Islanders. It wasn't a pretty game by any means, but they got the job done, and they did it here on home ice.
Yeah, and you feel the lows, too. Earlier in the week, you feel that, and it sticks with you, and you go home and you sit with it. You have to wait for your next opportunity. Well, you better be ready to be prepared to feel it when triumph comes in those big moments. And look, I know we're talking about one hockey game here in December, and that's all it is, but I said I think this has a way of springboarding a group, and for these guys, they deserve to relish in this moment for just a little bit, and that's a character win.
All right, let's look at third period and the overtimes for the New York Islanders, because this is a springboard right here. As you can see, third period and OT goals, the first 24.
Got it back, and Mayfield does a great job to get it through. Big, juicy rebound.
All right, so the Islanders get it done in overtime. The captain, Anders Lee, with a pair of goals in the third period to send this game past regulation, and JG Pageau, the game winner in overtime, giving the Islanders the 3-2 win and snapping the LA Kings franchise record road winning streak at 11 straight games. 3-2 the final.